In 1928, BMW produced their first automobile, and since then they've released over 75 models. And that means from sports cars to SUVs to convertibles and sedans, they've got just about every motoring base covered. But that hasn't stopped them adding yet another model to their lineup. And just as everyone had got over the confusion about how the 3 Series is different to the 4 Series, BMW has seen fit to provide another conundrum by bringing us a 2 Series model that is quite different to the 2 Series which we've just gotten used to. Of course, that 2 Series was originally the 1 Series sedan, but is now a model range all on its own. And the 2 Series we're driving right now is part of that range, although it looks nothing like the other 2 Series. Anyway, that is the BMW 2 Series Active Tourer that BMW are calling a premium compact, although its MPV-type styling cues should give you some idea as to how that car differs from the other 2 Series. The company also says it brings together versatility and dynamic ability, which for me is a bit of a tall order, especially in something that reminds me of the original Mercedes-Benz A-Class. It's the tallest stance in the fairly boxy shape. The details, though, are all pure BMW. Kidney grille, familiar LED daytime running light design, creases and lines that are common across the range, and at the back, the now familiar L-shaped taillights. I can't say I think it's the most attractive BMW I've ever seen, but as we all know, taste isn't universal. And besides, this design is something quite different for BMW. It's not a muscular sedan or a sleek hatchback or an SUV or a sports car or an X1, whatever shape that is. This design isn't the biggest departure for BMW. For a company that's been stuck in their engineering ways for a number of decades, their recent past has seen some pretty big changes. For example, they recently started using turbo motors on a regular basis. And now, I'm sure with much wailing and gnashing of teeth from BMW aficionados, they've made the 2 Series a front-wheel drive. Unsurprisingly, the company is at great pains to point out that this not very dynamic-looking machine is as involving and enjoyable to drive as any of its other cars. They've spent many man-hours tuning the suspension to deliver that typical BMW feel. They've equipped it with drive modes of varying degrees of nanny and the kinds of tech that prove it can deliver driving fun. For example, if you opt for the 8-speed automatic gearbox like we've got in our test car, you also get launch control. And if you're brave enough to switch off the traction control, you get the benefit of a front electronic diff. All of which seems a little bit unnecessary in a car designed to carry your choice of leisure activity equipment or sporting goods in the most comfortable and versatile manner possible. BMW may claim that the 2 Series Active Tourer is a BMW through and through, with all the inherent sportiness that implies, but ultimately this car is designed to take care of a specific need of its owners. A need for space and versatility. With that in mind, BMW sending power to the front wheels makes more sense. With that drivetrain layout, you get more interior space, so owners can pack more stuff. And thanks to some clever bits, they can pack it more easily. The other good thing about this interior is that it's not just a cut and paste job from the other 2 Series. The controls and the instruments are familiar, but the layout is all new. It works very well, although even if it didn't, I'd still be happy they'd tried something different instead of the very samey interiors across their models. Those clever bits I mentioned include an automated tailgate and remote seat release switches, all of which are standard across the range. Boot space with all the seats in place is already on the generous side. Drop them down and the cargo space triples in size. The Active Tourer is also one of the first models in South Africa to include BMW's fully functioning connected drive feature, which allows you to make service and emergency calls as well as use a concierge service. The system works anywhere in the country that has cell phone signal and uses an embedded SIM card in the car. When it comes to the drive, BMW is adamant that, despite its versatility genes, the 2 Series is also a performer. And to help test that, we've got ourselves the top-of-the-range 225i with a 2-litre 4-cylinder motor that puts out 170 kilowatts and 350 newton meters. But it's not just the engine that makes this package so impressive, it's the handling as well. And the fact that despite all the torque going through the front wheels, the effect on the steering, even under hard acceleration, is hardly there. And despite the taller than normal stance, there's hardly any lean at all. It's not perfect, the steering could do with more feedback. The feel that's there is a little artificial, but it's hardly a big enough factor to overcome this car's surprising agility and enjoyment on challenging roads. One real downside is the 18-inch wheels, which make the cabin a lot noisier than expected. Rather stick with the standard 17s. The 2 Series Active Tourer is a bit of a departure for BMW. It's a new body shape, a new interior, a drivetrain layout that's different to what they're used to, and a focus on versatility rather than pure driving dynamics. And although it's unlike any other BMW on the market, it's still a very good package, and it still feels very much like a BMW. The 2-litre turbo is a smooth and strong performer, with the 8-speed Steptronic Auto adding quick shifts up and down the gearbox. It's got space and versatility, but the standout feature of the Active Tourer is just how capable a performer it is. The optional 18-inch wheels make for a noisy cabin though.